Lalo, thank you for coming by today.
Yeah, what's up, man?
We talked about doing something like this, and I feel like there's so many different takes and spins on this. Like you could do a tier list for designs. You could do a tier list on who's the strongest.
Yeah.
You could do so many different things. I was thinking, waifus.
Waifus. Yeah.
Okay, and husbandos. Obviously, there's some males in this tier list. There's actually quite a lot. We're ranking 87 Street Fighter characters.
I'm excited. I'm ready for this.
So it's going to be a rather long tier list. But we're going to be ranking characters on importance to the brand. Importance to Street Fighter itself. And I'm really curious to see how we feel about certain characters.
We definitely have our favorites, but I'm going to try to be as fair about it as well. You know?
And that's the thing. We have to not be tempted to throw bias in here, because we could make a separate video potentially on just favorite characters, personal favorite characters, but importance to the brand is the topic at hand. So that could be, its own separate debate.
Yeah.
And the characters I chose for this tier list are playable characters. Now, if I did every single Street Fighter character that's ever been conceived and made an appearance in every single thing ever, this tier list would 87 would probably triple or quadruple in number.
This would be like a 14 video tier list.
There'd just be so many characters, so I only grabbed playable characters. And, I didn't choose like Alpha Cammy versus Street Fighter 2 Cammy. Like, it's just Cammy. The
Good.
concept of Cammy.
I like that.
And you're gonna if I forgot someone, I apologize. If you can call me out on it, I'm pretty sure I nailed it. 87's a lot. We might not be able to fit this all in one video, but why don't we start off with the Hermit Oro?
All right, so I really like Oro as a character, but he's only been in 2 games, and he kind of came at the very end of Street Fighter V, and I feel like he was kind of a fart in the wind added character. But I do love Oro. I think Oro is a super cool character in Origin. I like that he is like Ryu's sensei in Third Strike, and I like his whole vibe, man. He's just weird, but ugly, but cool.
Yeah, I like him too, but I think the most important thing is that he was a more recent teacher to Ryu.
Yeah.
So where does that put him?
I think in good. I think if we never see him in another Street Fighter game again, we'll be fine.
Yeah.
But he's always going to be a personal favorite to me.
Yeah, but remember,
Yeah.
we can't. It's not the personal favorites of Lalo's.
You're right. Hey, I said good.
Should I refer to you as Lalo? The last time we made a video, you made your own name. You called yourself Loch Ness 1718, I think.
Nah, you can call me Lalo. Lalo's good.
I was thinking, if you ever became an internet personality, your name should be Pop Drop and Loch Ness Monster. And you could just be called like PDLM for short.
Dude, I want to make a horror movie channel now. It's just off of that. That's great.
I can't take credit for that. I think I actually heard that term from the Game Grumps. Big fan. But yeah, you can take that from me. Makoto.
I think Makoto is in a similar place that Oro is. I think maybe just a little bit more. No, not even, man.
I don't know. I think she is one of the most beloved characters by fans, but to the face of the brand, is she maybe has potential?
I was just about to suggest that. Again, love Makoto, and this kind of hurts, but I feel like that's where she belongs.
Yeah.
Constantly overshadowed by the other younger female Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
popular in her own way that I don't think Makoto has gone into.
Yeah, I was definitely surprised because she's so beloved by the fan base that she was put in 4, but so was Ibuki, but did not come back for 5.
Well, even though I liked her in 4, she wasn't like the funnest character to play, man. Like the best Makoto is still Third Strike Makoto.
Yeah. Yeah, she can do some damage in that game. Let's see here, Mr. Dalzim.
Okay.
Now we got a big name here.
Yeah, we do. I think he's either at the end of Ultra or right here in the middle of Super. Like, if you're talking main roster Street Fighter characters, Dalzim's always got to be in, right?
Oh, absolutely. Any World Warrior has to be. And here's something I forgot to mention just for the tier list in general. I don't know if I want to... When I put characters into the respected tiers, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to comb through and go like, okay, in the super category, Dalzim goes above this guy but under this guy. Because then this is going to become a very long video.
Okay, gotcha.
So we're just going to kind of generalize them in the category.
I don't know, Jason. I might have to refer to you on this one because I think I want to put Super.
Yeah, I was going to say Super. I think a lot of World Warriors are going to be in Super if I had to guess.
Yeah. There are very few from the World Warriors that I think are going to have to be in Ultra or God. But I do feel like Dalzim, even though he's beloved, he's iconic, he's great, I don't think he reaches like the levels of a Ryu.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
And even when I was getting the pictures and the images, I started like the gears were turning on some characters for me. I was like, okay, I have to like not lump in like non-canon stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like Dalzim is like kind of really important in the comic. He's like one of Ryu's teachers.
I would even say one of the strongest.
He's like one of the strongest characters. I mean, I think you could say he became a teacher of Ryu in 5, but like that wasn't established until much later. But yeah, he's always just kind of in the games because he fits this long hitbox archetype. You know, he's an interesting play style.
Best stretchy character.
Best stretchy character ever made.
Yep.
And that's kind of like why he's here. Like usually he's in the tournaments to like raise money for his village.
The Poke King.
So yeah, Super I think is fitting.
Yeah.
Yun though.
Dude, I don't know. Like he is almost the face of Third Strike.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you think Third Strike, you think of this guy, and I think that really gives him some credit here.
I think even though like that's his game, like he was in 4, he was great in 4.
Yep.
He was top tier.
Yeah, he was good.
I think Third Strike is like that's his game. Like that's his game. I can't the only characters that reach like that level are like Chun-Li and of like the face of Third Strike. I don't know. I would be okay if you put him in Super.
Yeah, I agree with that full-heartedly.
Yeah. Plus, just cool design, right?
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. That's what I want to see more from Street Fighter. I don't like the heavy culture look. I'd like kind of like a blended of the culture, but kind of a modern look to it. I think that's just a great design.
This is a very Capcom look. I don't know what these gauntlet things are and why he's just got like a baseball cap, but I love it.
So I'm about it. You know, if you ignore his eyes, it kind of looks like he's wearing like a bicycle helmet with like a
like a visor.
Yeah.
I see it.
Okay.
Rufus.
All right.
Can I just start off by saying this is my wife's favorite Street Fighter character?
Really?
Yep. One time I played with her and I was like, let's play Street Fighter 4. It's got a lot of characters. Everyone loves this game. Who's grabbing your attention? And she was like, this guy.
Yeah. I do love me Rufus, dude. You know, a lot of people hate Rufus, but I think he looks so good when he moves around. Like, yes, he's goofy. Yes, he's ugly, but I really would like Rufus to come back. I don't think anyone else
No one does.
No one else
No one
like
does.
I think he probably goes into the Knob Fam.
Our first Knob Fam.
Which breaks my heart because I am a Rufus fan.
Well, let's keep the trade going because we're talking about Remy next.
Yeah, Remy just goes into now fam.
All right, Danny Beaky. Okay.
I got nothing nice to say about Remy.
Yeah, Remy, we kind of talked about this off screen a little bit. Like, there's just no substance to this guy. And the little that is there is just so bizarre. I don't think he's ever going to come back.
And that's fine.
Yeah.
I would be okay if he gets killed off screen. Another character's entrance more badass.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just the lame Guile.
Let's talk about your boy, though.
Alright. I have a very good argument to put Dan in Super.
Okay.
There are very few characters in Street Fighter that have such a rich history. Very few. Introduced in Alpha, mocking the competitors at the time, becoming iconic, like, through his actions and his games. Like, Dan Hibiki had no business being in Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but he was there.
Absolutely.
Dan Hibiki was, like, just popping off wherever he ended up, man.
For every game that Dalzim's in, I feel like the same amount of times Dan shows up.
Yes.
And before I became mixed into your life and your family, I would have put him in NAFAM. And I think I would have stick that way to this day. But since you and your brother, who I, practically grew up with, just praised this guy more than anyone I've ever seen, like unrealistically infatuated with this character, it made me actually appreciate the underdog character so much more, and I could see why you liked him so much.
Dude, if you want to play Street Fighter on hard mode, you play Dan.
Yeah. I'm surprised you're not saying Ultra, though.
Dude, I would love to put Dan in Ultra.
But don't, at this point, after Street Fighter 4, after Street Fighter 5, don't you feel like more people would rather have Dan come back in a game than, these two? Than Dalzim and Yun?
Dude, I mean, if it were up to me, Dan would be in God tier. But I'm trying so hard to be fair. I think that Dan is more popular than Dalzim, but maybe less popular than Yun. Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm basing it off of. But absolutely great character. I love that he was so requested for Street Fighter 5, and the internet lost their mind when he showed up.
Well,
I was like, oh, there are more Dan fans.
That's the exact point I'm trying to make. Is if he had that kind of response, I don't think you're gonna fight me on this. I think he actually kind of belongs in Ultra.
Let's go. Get him up there.
I think if we were talking the year 1998, I don't think as many people cared, but I think at modern day Street Fighter, Dan's really making a fan base more than ever.
I love him.
A character that's even more bizarre than Dan, though, I would say, is Eagle. A Street Fighter 1 character.
Yep. Came back in Alpha. Okay.
Originally in Capcom vs. SNK 2, and then they just put his sprite in Alpha.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Alright. This is where I'm at with it. I think he has potential. Definitely think he goes into has potential, because I don't think he's a NAFAM. I don't hate this man. And I would be kind of mildly excited if he got into Street Fighter again.
Very well said.
Yeah.
I think I completely agree with you. He's a very interesting design, and there's not a lot of weapon users in Street Fighter, but he rocks that.
Yeah.
He has a blonde mustache, so I think that gives him has potential energy.
He should come back with gray hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just been training alone.
Or maybe we should go the Birdie style and he comes back overweight. He has thicker batons for some reason.
Yeah. I do like Eagle. I completely agree with you. If he came back, it'd make me happy. This next character also uses a weapon, Falk.
I'm gonna be real with you, dude. You might have a better argument for where this person is placed than I do, but I think this is hardcore NAFAM.
Really?
I have no love for Fack. I don't give a Fack at all. I think this character is boring. I think this character brings nothing to Street Fighter. Just another blonde character that has a whatever story.
Counter argument.
Mm-hmm.
Now, she was completely out of left field for sure.
Yeah.
It's almost kind of weird talking about her before Ed, which is just a character that's a couple spaces down. But I think it's interesting, like, 'cause sometimes when they introduce a new character to the franchise, they're just there, and like, this is their story. Like, I don't want to get ahead of myself. Let's just use the example of like, maybe I can't say that. I was gonna say Hakan, but he has a relationship with E Honda. I was gonna say like some DLC characters don't feel like they really have a lot of connecting points with other characters.
Mm-hmm.
Falk has a connection with Ed, with Shadaloo. I think she has potential. Like, I think they're probably gonna add her as DLC eventually, and they're gonna expound on her a bit more, because I think there's gonna be this whole, they're calling it Neo Shadaloo. That's like Ed's, what he runs, and Falk's right by him. I am getting kind of tired of like clones.
Yes.
Like Bison body clones.
Yes.
And Bison keeps dying and not using any of them.
Yes.
I think it's very weird.
I thought, listen, I know there's like a waifu thing going on to Street Fighter that if they don't work out as a big burly character, we bring them back as a hot woman. I'm not crazy about that trope, but I would have been okay if DiCaprio and Bison were just a thing now.
They should have just made like a female Bison.
Yeah.
But I can't get ahead of myself. But they did that with Seth, and it's like,
Neat.
okay, neat. It's neat. I think she has potential though. Like, I don't hate her. Probably wouldn't be upset. Well, if she never came back, I think that'd be wasted potential. So I think she has it. I think she has it, and we'll see what happens with her.
I like Gen, but I think he goes into Nafam.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I mean, he's cool where I think he was in Street Fighter 1 too, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I think he's cool when he shows up, but overall he's like an old man character with way less charisma than Oro, Dalsy, and Akuma.
But he's like a rival to Akuma, Chun-Li's teacher.
I mean, cool flipping backstory, man. He's awesome.
I think he's kind of important to some characters, right?
Yeah, but does it matter if he's there? No. It doesn't.
I guess you could just say like Chun-Li's teacher is just some dude off screen, and that'd be fine. Yeah. And Akuma already has like a couple other rivals and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you have Hinhachi as a rival, like, do you really need Gen anymore?
I think it's weird that he's Chun-Li's teacher because he doesn't use kicks. Like what's up with that?
I mean,
he's an assassin, so like, you'd think Chun-Li would be an assassin, or?
Oh, maybe he's just got like really crappy legs, man. You know? Maybe he's using them for running, and that's it.
I'm also pretty sure he's canonically dead by Street Fighter 6. I think Akuma kills him.
I mean, maybe, but Street Fighter doesn't like that. I mean, if you die in Street Fighter,
it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't mean anything.
But if they're gonna kill you, maybe Street Fighter doesn't really care about you either.
Yeah,
so I guess we'll put him in Nafam.
I'm just being real, man. I like Gen too. If this was like a liked characters playlist, he'd probably be in C tier somewhere.
I would really like to hear your thoughts on Ed, because he is very decisive. Unlike Falk, which is kind of case closed. Here's another blonde.
Okay. I think Ed has potential. Now, if you ask me how I felt about his design specifically, I think his new Street Fighter 6 look looks okay. I don't like the emo flippy.
No.
I really don't. He's like, as far as like aesthetic go, he's got like something way better than what Remy has, but it's the same vibe.
I've thought about that, like just like the haircut, right? And I'm just like, but let's be honest. If Ed came out with this design and he was like a sprite back in the 80s or something, I feel like it'd be iconic and we'd like it. But just the fact that like he's a new guy and we're seasoned guys, it's kind of like there's some other weird looking people in this that we probably love, but you know,
I would stick Ed and has potential because I think he's gonna keep coming back. I think he appeals to a lot of younger people. I just really hope that we finally reach a place with his like look and his voice. Change his voice, please. To something just that's more digestible to me personally. I mean, I know the games aren't for me, but like I look at Ed and I go,
Is there any way I can convince you to put him in good? He has this whole thing where his relationship with Balrog.
It is really cool.
He defected from Balrog, and he's kind of like the new boxer.
I do like all of that.
He uses psycho power with boxing, and he's got the whole Neo anti-Shadowloo thing going. So I think he's going to be going places. But I just feel like he might be a step back, like more than Falk, even Makoto.
All right.
In terms of how he impacts Street Fighter.
I'll give it to you. We can put him in good.
And at the very end, when I don't know how many videos this conversation is going to encapsulate, but towards the end, we can go back and we can kind of
shuffle them around.
Do a second, look at the tiers, see where they fall.
I'm down.
How about Crimson Viper?
You know what? I feel kind of bad.
She had her heyday.
She did. And she even got into Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which was pretty big.
Which was I think that was a good call.
A lot of C. Viper fans out there. The thing is, like, she was iconic when she came out in her game. Pretty, people were pretty hyped.
She was going to be Chun-Li's rival.
And then,
it seemed like.
And then we had, like, she is the proto-man. Jury.
Yeah.
And then Jury was just like it. And there was no turning back. I think C. Viper is not coming back just because Jury exists. I could be wrong. Street Fighter could be like, let's bring back C. Viper. And I'll eat my words. But as of right now, I think C. Viper has potential because she is cool. She is cool. She's a really cool Street Fighter character. She's got a good gimmick. She's got a cool little backstory. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with gadgets to make a Street Fighter character cooler. But I mean, you ask me any day, even on a bad day, I'm going to pick Jury. Jury is just so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She did make it into a crossover game, though, like you said.
So did Jury.
She did.
Yeah.
Yes, and C. Viper did not. In that same game. It seemed like they tried bringing her back in 5, and they just couldn't do it. I don't know why. They made a new design for her. She showed up in cutscenes and just didn't come back.
Does she have a new haircut? I can't remember.
I think she kept the same hair. She had like this green skin-tight suit thing. Kind of like Zero Suit Samus vibes, but green.
Neat. And she carried her daughter around on a little...
That's cool that she... Like, stuff like that they don't have to include. It's kind of cool when they add that to a character. Like, oh, and she's a mom.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, that was a nice little ending in Street Fighter 4. It's like, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
No,
so you think it's more has potential than good? Like, even though she had her prime when she came out?
I think she has potential to have a major comeback, but as her legacy stands now, has potential.
Okay. Put her there. Oh my gosh, we're talking about... What do we even say about this guy?
Dude, he's so mysterious. The thing is, I like Q, but there's not a lot to say. Like, he can come back, he can not come back. It doesn't really make a difference.
I feel like has potential is literally could be called like the Q tier.
Yeah. That's yeah. And again, I like Q, but that's it. That's all we can really say about Q. He's cool.
Like,
and a terrorist, I think.
He's had potential for a long time. Come on, guys.
Yeah, do something with him. Get him back together with G. Have him be a combo.
How about Claw? How do you feel about Vega? I never hear you talk about Vega.
Vega goes in God tier.
God tier. I disagree.
I think either in God or Ultra, Claw, Dictator, and Boxer are so embedded into the history of Street Fighter. I'm not saying a game would crumble if we didn't have Vega in there, but man, he's either DLC.
He always comes back.
He always comes back.
He always comes back.
And he just out of the bosses, he's just so cool, man.
Yeah, I guess Ultra is good. Not good, the tier. Ultra is a good pick for him.
Yeah.
He is very iconic. I would say probably the runner-up to Sagat.
Absolutely.
So, speaking of Sagat, how about we talk about him?
Sagat is, dude. He's that guy, dude. I think every time Sagat isn't in the main like roster of characters that people like, when Sagat,
Just doesn't. Something feels like it's missing.
yeah. I mean, Jason, I feel like he either can go in God or Ultra, because Sagat is that guy.
It's the guy that you love until you fight him. Until you fight a really good playing Sagat.
But that is also great. You want a challenge, man. And when you're playing story mode and you're fighting that level 9 or whatever it is now, Sagat, you're gonna cry. But you also feel really good when you beat him.
I love me some Sagat. I'm gonna put him in Ultra.
Yeah, put Sagat in Ultra.
And again, at the end, maybe we can mix some stuff around.
Hmm?
What do you have to say about this guy?
Okay, so in Alpha, personally, I feel like, you know how Yun and Yang are the face of Third Strike?
Mm-hmm.
I think Cody and Guy were the face of Alpha.
Wow.
I think they're super cool. They have a history that rivals like Dan Hibiki's coolness, I think. I don't think they're like, I think no matter what we do in the future of Street Fighter, if Guy doesn't come back, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think
I agree.
I think he should go in Super, personally. He's a cool character with a great history, with a iconic look that comes back in some way or another.
I feel like he definitely appeals. He's got his fan base. The whole Bushinryu ninja art style, it's like, it's got a good backing to it. Like, it seems like, okay, you always hear about Bushinryu in Street Fighter, so he definitely has a presence. And especially if you're a big arcade head, you know, it's like, oh my gosh, final fights in Street Fighter, it's so awesome. Same world.
Yeah.
So you said Super?
Yeah, I would.
Is he Dalzim level though?
I mean,
Is he Yun level though?
I honestly, Jason, I think yes. Yes, I do. I think in the Alpha games, he was probably right next to Sakura as my favorite characters to play. I mean, again, I know this isn't a favorite character Street Fighter list.
Right.
I had to reel it back. But I think just because of that added Final Fight history, he reaches it into that Super tier.
He was the first. I think him and Sodom showed up at the same time. I think they were both in Alpha 1. I can't. Well, maybe Sodom is Alpha 2. I can't remember. But he was the first Final Fight rep.
Mm-hmm.
So he's definitely iconic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But oh my gosh, segue into the icon.
Juri!
Nah, you know what? I feel like I should talk about it. I'm just kidding. You could go ahead, because I don't want to take this one from you. I'm sure there's plenty others that I'll gush about. So why don't you start with Juri?
Dude, let me just paint a picture for you. Street Fighter 4 Ultra, I think it was her appearance?
It was Super, Arcade, then Ultra. She was in Super.
Alright. In Super Street Fighter 4, this opening happens. One of the best openings in Street Fighter history, I
Hands
think.
down.
Hands down. And you're like, who is she? You see in the trailer, they're like, whoa, who is this awesome new psychotic evil character? I want to play her right now. Feet? Yes! Let's go! She has the personality. She has the presence. She, to me, is the new, not a new, the new Street Fighter face.
Yeah.
Juri, if she's not in a Street Fighter game, I will flip shit. I'm like, where is she? Where is Juri?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's locked herself down as a always gonna be their character.
It's just an evil Chun-Li that works. You want to play her. She moves awesome, and she's just a good little villain to put in there. I mean, I think she's chilled out in Street Fighter 6. I think she's more of a chaotic neutral character, but man, like,
I don't know if I've seen a character make quite a impact as a new character like to this day. Like
Same.
there's been more Street Fighter games. I don't think they've made that impact as Juri has.
Yeah. If they have a new Marvel vs. Capcom game come out and Juri's not in there, I will be sad.
I would love to see it. Sometimes you have to consider if they would be a good fit or not, for sure. But I would be happy if she came back. In anything. Put her in anything.
Really? Oh, I thought you meant in the tier bracket.
Oh, no.
I think she goes in Ultra, man. I want to put her in God, but I know there's.
She's high Ultra.
Heck yeah.
If we were gonna take the time, she's definitely high Ultra.
Heck yeah.
She's probably gonna stay as a step below God for the entire tier list.
Yeah, she's great though, man. Love Juri.
Well, if you gushed about Juri, let me gush about Poison,
I'll let you do that, man.
because
You're more of a Poison stan than I am.
I love Poison. She was also kind of like made that debut in Street Fighter 4, but clearly was in the franchise beforehand.
In the background of Final Fight was a character there. Was a mini boss?
She was just like a grunt, so
Yeah.
she was like, it doesn't really make sense to me, like that you fight hundreds of Poisons, but there's only one canonical one in Street Fighter.
Isn't the story that she's got like a ton of sisters?
I think that's said about Hugo. I have not heard that said about Poison,
Okay.
but I really like Poison. I think they really nailed the dominatrix thing down. And it's so interesting when you have a character that comes back, like she came back in 5, and plays completely different.
Yeah.
Chun-Li always plays different. Juri so far plays different every game she's in. I think Poison has a fan base for sure. I can definitely see her coming back a bunch. And she just seems to be like the Final Fight opposition. Like, there's a lot of Final Fight villains in Street Fighter, but just to have that female one with the sex appeal, I think she kind of stands above the rest,
Oh, okay.
in my opinion.
Even more than like, well, just female presence?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of her, but in terms of impact, I don't know.
I would put her in good if you asked me. I love Poison for all the reasons you just said. But I have a question. When she started in Street Fighter X Tekken and that trailer came out, I think that's the best trailer in my opinion.
I do like that one.
It's just a bunch of wrestling going on and Poison and Hugo are like, what's going on? They're not even Street Fighter 4. What's happening? Ah!
Yeah, that was so hype.
It was so hype. And when you got into Street Fighter 4, everyone's like, well, it's time to get to business. Let's start learning this character. Do you feel like her comeback in 5 was as hype?
Personally, yes. Now, for the fans, I actually don't know. Like, I won't get too into this. I think it's kind of hard to bring up Poison and not talk about the whole gender topic.
Yeah. I think it's cool.
I've heard some people just be like hardcore lean one way or the other.
Yeah.
I've heard some people just be like, you know what? Let's not debate. Poison could be what you want.
Yeah.
And just leave it at that.
I think that's what the Capcom would say.
Yeah, right? So, I think for the community of people that do connect with Poison as a character, I think just that alone gives her a bit more credit in Street Fighter.
So are you thinking Super?
I think so.
Alright, man. I'll let you put her in Super.
I think her confusing origins have given her a big fan base, and that speaks something to the character.
Okay. I mean, probably God tier, dude.
You think Bison's God tier?
He's like the iconic boss of Street Fighter. I mean, don't get me wrong, Akuma's that guy too. I think they share that spot. But I Bison is just been probably a better final boss than Sagat, for sure. Has a very cool, iconic look. Like, a lot of people who play games kind of know who this guy is, right? He's like, oh, that's the bad guy from Street Fighter.
I feel like he's the final boss for fighting games.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, I think this is our first God tier character, honestly.
Okay.
He's gonna Psycho Crusher his way up there.
Let me ask you this though. If Bison, obviously he's in 6 now because death means nothing, and especially to a final boss. But if Bison didn't come back, would it feel wrong to you?
It would feel wrong if he didn't come back in some way. Like, I don't think I need this character design to come back personally, but if Bison came back as, like, you know, a possessed DiCaprio, and that's, like, how we're bringing back Bison, I would feel giddy. Or if you found out he had, like, a lost child or a new student. Like, that's... If they brought Bison back that way, that's how I would like to see it happen, but I feel like we're just gonna keep getting him.
Yeah.
I would like to see that character to evolve, but the thing is, like, I feel like his presence to be completely gone would be weird. I mean, look, even his teacher was supposed to kind of... What's the guy's name? I forget.
JP.
I think JP was supposed to fill the role of Bison, and then people were like, hold my beer, we need to get this guy back in.
Okay, we can put him in God, but what about Sodom?
Nah, fam.
He's a Nafam to you?
Yeah, dude. I think he's the... he came in Slam Masters, right? That was his first game?
He was a boss in Final Fight.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did he make an appearance in Slam Masters?
I'm not too familiar with Slam Masters. I don't think he's in it, but he was a Final Fight boss.
Okay.
That came back in the alphas and has not come back since. So see, this is what's funny. If this was a... How do you feel about this character? There's a lot of people in my life that love this guy, and he's not in anything. But yeah, I think it's fine if he doesn't come back, because you have characters like Poison.
You have characters like Hugo, he's coming. We're gonna talk about
We can't talk about Hugo yet, because we have to talk about this.
He's the most fan character on this list, dude. Burn it with fire. Don't ever bring him back. I don't care
know
about
what they were thinking. Like, why would you not just add Hugo?
Dude, yes! And because he made such a huge splash. And you know what? If they would have made Abigail just like a Hugo clone that was more savage, I think I would have been about it.
Yeah, like if they really would have leaned into him being metal Hugo, but instead they were like, he's metal, but he's also really dumb.
And a car.
He's just a walking car made of meat.
Yeah.
I think whenever Capcom tries to do like a silly character that's so outlandish, like Dan, he's a joke character, but that's because he's full of himself and plays bad.
Yeah.
Hugo is like, he plays really good, but I hate him so much.
And I hate when people play him. Like, I'm like, oh, it's Abigail. You know what? Like, you and me, I think both agree that Rufus is a fun character. Like, I'm sad that he's a Nafan.
Yeah.
I think that Abigail is the face of Nafan. Like, you belong there, bro.
Could you imagine, I just thought of this, if Rufus came back as DLC and he was just ripped?
Dude, I think that would be awesome.
Wouldn't that be actually kind of cool?
Yeah! I'd like that. I would like to see Rufus come back, personally. I like how we're on Abigail and we're like, well, let's talk about Rufus.
Let's just talk about anyone else. I can't talk about Abigail for too long. Now, when I was putting together this and the characters, I was like, okay, I'm just going to do playable characters. And, like, Final Fight's a part of the Street Fighter universe, and now so is Rival Schools. But Akira's the only playable character, and I wasn't too sure how familiar you were with Rival Schools.
Very, very little, man. Like, I know everyone sings the praises of that game, but I don't want to lie to you, I've never played it.
Yeah. I love it, and I was super happy that... Because it was always asked about, because Sakura is in Rival Schools.
Yeah.
And so people were like, okay, well, if that's the case, how come we never hear about Rival Schools in Street Fighter? And I think at some point Capcom was like, oh, this was just for fun, they're not the same thing. And then they started putting like little references in Street Fighter V. I mean, they were doing crossovers with the comics, but I don't want to really get into the comics.
Yeah, I was thinking about saying something about that. Like, I mean, they're in the comics, but like, we already agreed.
So yeah, I think the world, like the Street Fighter fan base erupted when she came back, because not only did that confirm that it is the same universe officially when she was added, but a lot of people also really like her from the franchise. It was a really good pick because like Batsu, main character of his franchise.
I thought that's who you were gonna pick.
But they added her, and I think it's because they want to do something a little different, interesting playstyle, and they know a lot of fans. This is their favorite character from Rival Schools.
And I kind of get it. She looks really cool.
So I think she had a super good impact. I don't know if I'd put her in super or good, though.
You think it has potential?
Well, I don't know between the two. I would put her above potential for sure. I
Yeah.
just between these two, like...
I think she goes into good.
Uh-huh.
And listen, again, as someone who has not played Rival Schools, I have my opinion means nothing. But I feel like people love that she's in this game because what a potentially that could mean. I think people really want another Rival Schools game.
Yeah.
And I think it's like whenever you hear anything about Darkstalkers, people get excited again. I think it's that same kind of love. I think if you would have put her in has potential, that would have made sense to me. And good also makes sense to me. I think she belongs in good because she's got like a presence for her. But I don't think it comes close to the other characters on top. But I do like her a lot.
Yeah, they tied her in, and they made it like, oh, she's friends with Sakura still, and she's making new friends. But people love that she was included, but I don't know if she really impacts Street Fighter as a whole in any other regard. Like I feel like these guys have been like really growing, and these guys can also grow, but they're just a step above this tier. So I think maybe good is a good
place.
A good place for her.
I agree.
My boy.
I love Alex. Dude.
My boy Alex.
I love Alex, dude.
A lot of people don't.
People hate it.
I think why are we the weird ones that really like Alex? I know there's people that like Alex, but
main character of Third Strike, dude.
But obviously that didn't last.
Probably the coolest wrestler in Street Fighter, dude.
Wrestler as a main character. That's weird.
Dude, but dude, it makes me want to cry. But I think he goes into good too. I think he goes at the top of good.
Yeah.
But man,
I think that's a good pick for him. He actually does have like some story significance. I mean, because of Third Strike. He just didn't stick, but
no one cared that he was in 5, man.
I think every time that he does come back, like when they announced him for 5, people were pretty happy.
I love this redesign. His Street Fighter 5 look was like so good to me. And I think to this day I'll still put up that trailer and watch it because that Alex reveal was like awesome. So cool. Alex is so cool.
Yeah, he is one of the many blondes that I'm okay with having around.
Yes, keep him in. I mean, dude, he's a Rambo reference. I'm gonna love the guy.
Well, I think he's more of a why is the name escaping me right now? If Hugo is, which we have to talk about still later, if Hugo is Andre the Giant, Alex was supposed to be Hulk Hogan.
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I think they didn't want to take it too far by giving him the mustache, but they wanted the wrestle rivalry to be there. Because they are like wrestle rivals.
I never knew.
You didn't know that?
I thought he was a Rambo reference this entire time.
I mean, he definitely looks the part.
I mean, isn't he also like an army soldier?
I don't think he's in the army. I think he straight up lives in New York and works on cars.
I thought that was Warp. You're blowing my mind right now.
Here's another fun fact about Alex. I love Alex. I think the weird things on his shoulders are supposed to be from his overalls that he actually wears in 5. But since 5 takes place before 3, there's some kind... I can't remember. I might have read that somewhere.
They're still working in 5, and then when Third Strike rolls around, they finally... That's funny. I thought that was war paint.
I can't remember. I
That's
don't
crazy.
think he has any military... I think maybe his dad was. I can't remember. All I know is he likes to work on cars. Okay, here's a character I'm really excited to talk about because I feel like Maki's fan base rivals like Cammy. Like, people love the heck out of this character, but she's in nothing.
Dude, you already said it. Like, I also like Maki. but I'm not gonna lie, I like Kimberly more. Yeah, I like Maki. I would be so down if she came back. I would love it if Maki were Kimberly's more involved with her story. I would love there to be a rivalry there, or like maybe that's the big sister thing going on. But dude, like Maki,
importance to the brand. Do you think she has potential?
Yes,
I was gonna say that.
she has potential for a big comeback. She's not in the not fam category, definitely not.
I think if she came back, it would be a huge response from fans.
Absolutely.
So, if Capcom, if you want money, take our advice.
Yeah. I'm the wrong person to ask about the next character, man. I've never really cared for this villain. I think he fights cool. I think he's got a lot of importance to the Street Fighter history, but overall, he's just like very lame to me personally in comparison to Akuma and Bison.
Yeah, I think maybe we can meet somewhere in the middle with good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to have a villain that isn't strictly related to Shadowloo, obviously.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the Illuminati, confirming in the Street Fighter universe that the Illuminati is a thing.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. And, you know, if you're a villain of your own little arc in Street Fighter, I think that gives you some clout.
I do like how much of a dick he is in his story. Didn't he like give his brother the lead role and was just like, yeah, you can have that. I'm now the god.
I'm the next tier that I just made for myself.
I get more money and I have all the power. Good for you, bro. Little bro.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to come back, but I think he made an imprint on the franchise to a degree. So I think good is good.
Good is good.
Manon. Okay, first newer character that we're talking about. I'm gonna be kind of eager to see what we say about the newer characters because, okay, I have a little confession, which is I've not put a lot of time into Street Fighter 6 as I normally would most other Street Fighter titles, just because we're all getting older and it's like I love playing with loved ones and friends, and it's just become more harder over time. And if I am playing Street Fighter 6 specifically, I'm probably playing online.
Yeah.
And when you're playing online, you're not getting a lot of that story. So I'm only going off of like from my memory what I've seen on YouTube, or you know, little talks of the story here and there. Well, what do you think about her?
All right.
Importance to the brand.
Importance to the brand. I really like Manon.
I love the whole ballerina aesthetic.
Yeah, I'd probably say her name right. Manon?
I've heard Manon more.
All right, Manon. Nothing will ever eclipse the hype that I got with Jury. But I feel like
you can't compare everyone to Jury, Lala.
Hold up. Let me cook. Marissa and Manon got close. I thought those two really fun new Street Fighter characters came out, and I was like, whoa! It brought a lot of life in for me, man. I was excited for these characters. I thought they both looked really cool. I'm like, ooh, a new French rep. Like,
yep.
Maybe Manon can do what Abel couldn't. And I really like Marissa's giant, like, muscular body. Like, both these characters came together. I was happy with both of them. Importance to the brand. I mean, I say has potential. Personally, I don't think she's a nah fam. Like, I don't hate her. I think she's really cool. And I would be, if let's say 6 years, 7 years from now, 10 years from now, when they come out with Street Fighter 7, and they were like coming up with who might come back, I would be happy to see her come back. Personally.
Yeah, me too. I think when it comes to making a new character, they nailed it.
Yeah.
With this.
Yes.
Everything about her is creative.
Yeah.
I can't even compare her to any other character in another fighting game or anything. Like, she seems super original. So yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the newer characters are going to be in Has Potential. Maybe not all of them, but yeah, I'd like to see more of her for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about another new character. His name is Jamie. I think he's got quite a bit of fans.
Yeah, I like Jamie. I like Jamie a lot.
He has a relationship. He has the weirdest relationship to other characters that I've seen in a Street Fighter game so far. Like, like, yeah, Yun and Yang. I don't know if they're both gonna be in this tier. He's here because of Third Strike. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But like, why do we have this character that has a relationship with these guys over other characters? It shocks me.
Yeah.
It was just a surprise. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It just took me by surprise when it was confirmed.
You know what, Jason? I was both excited and sad because Jamie meant that we'd have to wait for those characters. But I do like everything that Jamie's about. I think they captured that vibe that we need Street Fighter to go back to, that hip-hop Third Strike vibe. I think Jamie really captures that, and I think his inspirations definitely come from Yun and Yang, and I know he's got a connected history and everything. I would put him in good. I wouldn't put him in super. I think he's definitely above, has potential.
He's good.
He's good.
It's cool that they didn't just make him a copy and paste of the twins, but instead they're like, well, he also drinks.
Yeah.
And that's a thing.
It's not alcohol, though. Street Fighter said it's not. It's alcohol. He's drinking booze.
We need this E for everyone rating, or teen, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
All right, the boxer.
If you don't put him in Ultra, I'm gonna riot.
Okay.
Yep.
Here he is.
We need all of them in there. We need.
What? They're all next to each other.
We need the boxer, the claw, the dictator, and the Sagat. I don't have a special nickname for
We can
him.
call him the king.
The king. There we go. We need those guys up there. They're
The Sagat. I actually kind of like that better.
the Sagat. The one-eye scar man. Nah, dude. Like, he's got a really cool history as far as like what his design is based off of. My favorite boxer ever, Mike Tyson. Super strong, always has a presence, always makes a splash when he's in a game. People love Balrog, man. He's got new connections with Ed that I'm a big fan of.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but I mean, yes, he's a jobber in the franchise, and that's what he does. He just jobs for people, but man, I get excited when he's around.
Actually, that is interesting when you think about it, because out of these three, Vega's, or Claw, or whatever you want to call him, like, we'll just go with American. Vega, he's the one character out of these four that doesn't seem to really have a, like, growing story.
Yeah.
Like, they actually looked at Balrog and they were like, let's expand on this guy.
Yes.
They haven't done that with Vega yet.
Yeah, dude. I mean,
If anything, he's the jobber. But Balrog, he's kind of transcended that a little bit.
I agree with that.
So, if we were going off of certain placements, he would definitely be a little higher than maybe Vega.
I agree with that. I love Balrog. He's that guy. Do you know the main editor for Wiki has a Balrog as his little widget?
No?
Yeah, now you do.
The more you know.
The more you know.
You're spreading knowledge, people. You got any knowledge on Sean?
Not a lot, man. I know there's a lot of Sean fans out there, and a lot of people really want him to come back in this new game. I think has potential of potentially in good. I think he's the poor man's Dan Hibiki, personally.
Yeah, he actually has a win quote or something that's like,
Stop calling me Dan Hibiki!
yeah. I think a lot of people want him to come back, but he hasn't really done anything as Street Fighter.
Yeah, he hasn't, except
They
look
want
cool.
They want him to do something.
Yeah.
They want him to have more story.
Do you feel like you did him really bad in 5?
Well, I think that makes sense to kind of do him bad because he hasn't met Ken yet. He hasn't trained under Ken yet. So he's supposed to be a dweeb, and then he grows into this fighter.
For sure, man, but did he have to make him that much of a dweeb? Maybe it's because that game was just kind of ugly. But, like, man, like, maybe Miles Morales before Spider-Man was still cool.
Dude,
Do you imagine just a skateboarding Sean or playing basketball?
I'm sure whoever made the team behind Street Fighter V was making a Spider-Man thing would also kind of be sus. So that's just what happened to Sean.
Okay.
Now, before we talk about this guy, this is Shin Akuma. Do you want to talk about regular Akuma first, or does it matter?
I don't think it matters.
Okay, well, since he's here, we could talk about Shin Akuma. So Shin Akuma is sometimes playable. He is pretty much just Akuma on steroids. He is stronger Akuma, which there are other forms of that
Oni.
stronger Akuma concept. Importance to the brand. Now, I think this is an interesting debate because just like regular Akuma, when Shin Akuma pops up, he's like iconic boss.
Yeah.
Like if you were seeing Shin Akuma, you did something in the game to get to him.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like he's iconic
Yeah.
in his own right.
Hey, I have a question. You probably know this better than I do. In Capcom vs. SNK, was he a boss before Rugal or after?
So when it comes to, because there's 4 bosses in that game.
Okay.
You can fight Rugal or Akuma, or you can fight the steroided versions of those 2.
Oh, okay.
So depending on certain things like what your score was, how many perfects you got, how many super finishes you got, you actually have to meet a certain prerequisite to get that boss.
Oh, okay.
So that's all it is.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, he's playable in that, for sure. And I think that's probably his most popular appearance, is being a boss in that game.
It's
So
also probably the best boss rush episode of, what's his name?
Maximilian Dude stuff.
Maximilian,
That is a good video. But I don't know if he really has... I don't know. He could be equally as important as regular Akuma. Maybe at least one step below. But I don't know. Is he... I don't really... There's no explanation, I don't think. Like, what is Shin Akuma? Like, why does he look like this?
It's honestly, Jason, I think the simplest answer is that it's just a Super Saiyan Akuma. Don't think too hard about it.
But was it that said anywhere? I can't think of any source material.
Well, the thing is, when Ryu goes Evil Ryu, it's because he's given into the Dark Ado. Akuma's already done
He's
that.
already there.
So the
So what
only thing,
did he eat a nutritious breakfast or something? Like,
he did his sit-ups in the morning.
Actually?
had a nutritious breakfast.
I just realized what I just said. Because in Street Fighter 6, Akuma has a taunt where he eats a rice ball, and he gets some of Shin Akuma's moves.
Yeah?
So I think Shin Akuma, canonically, is just well-diet Akuma. I think.
Shin Akuma is Akuma after he gets a compliment from, what's her name?
Elena? I love that relationship
Yeah, me too.
that people are going off of.
Shin Akuma happens when he talks to Elena. He's just a little happy. It's just like a burp power-up. It's a happy Akuma.
I don't know. Is he super?
I think he's good. I don't think
good.
he's super. Yeah.
Okay, we'll put him in good.
Yeah, I love Shin Akuma, but I come on, you got Akuma, and he's going all the way to the top, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I kind of want to put him in super. Maybe we'll go back to it.
All right. I mean, hey, dude, if you put up a good argument for why he should go in super, I'm down, man. Am I personally putting it? I think he belongs to the top of good or like mid good. You want to put him in super?
I think he belongs in super. I think he has the presence.
All right.
Colleen.
Not fan.
Really?
Dude, she's got a cool moveset. I think people wanted her to
That
come in.
was a very fast response.
She's got a cool moveset. She has a reason to be in Street Fighter. She's got a small history. I don't care. And I should. That's why she's a not fan.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I don't think she's coming back ever.
Yeah. She's above Abigail, but like below Rufus. Get out of here.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. I'm not like... You wouldn't see me buy a figure of her. I never really played her. I didn't really care.
You don't care.
It's kind of cool though that she's actually like... She's like Poison. Poison was a side character that they just made a character.
Yeah.
She was the right hand of Gil. Let's just make her a playable character.
I think the potential for her to be awesome was there, and they just messed it up, so I think it's even below that now. Because dude, ice attacks, that's cool.
Yeah, not a lot of people get that.
Cool little Russian aesthetic, yeah, that's cool. But You're boring somehow. How are you boring? How are you not? How are you below Fack? Huh?
Falk.
Falk, sorry.
You keep calling her that.
How are you below Falk?
Hey,
And I think she is below Falk, so that says something to me.
Well, hey man, I don't want you to get too heated, so we can make you boost some of that serotonin by talking about
The face of Alpha 3, get him up there, man. We know he's the wrestler. Put him in God.
What up here?
Yeah,
You
dude.
think he's God tier?
I think he's God tier.
Oh my gosh,
Dude,
I
the
guess when
teeth.
you land yourself in the Wreck-It Ralph movie, you become God tier.
I think so. Dude, I was just about to make that point. Dude, Zangief is a character that everyone gets excited for no matter what.
He's the grappler.
Yeah. I think when Street Fighter V got announced, I saw Ryo, I was like, and I saw Chun-Li, and I was like, and then I saw Zangief, I was like,
You realize by putting him in this tier, you are saying he is on the same level of other people we're going to put on this tier.
I'm completely aware of that. And I mean it too.
No bias.
No bias.
You think he's that important to the brand?
Absolutely. I think the most iconic thing after a Hadouken, a Shoryuken, is his grapple. More than the block of lightning ball, more than Chun-Li's spinning bird kick.
I can't argue with you.
Yeah, dude. The spinning pile driver is like embedded in everyone's brain. It's the coolest wrestling move of all time. He is a face of Street Fighter. More than Dalzim, more than Juri, more than the three bosses. Like, Zangief is that guy.
Wow. Okay, we'll keep him there.
Thank you, man. I'm sorry, I had to throw the gauntlet down on this one.
It doesn't matter what kind of tier list theme you were going for. I'm sure you would hit Zangief with that amount of love and energy
Yeah, I would.
every time.
I would be his lawyer.
Rashido.
Dude, I think Rashid was the jury of Street Fighter V.
I 100% agree with you.
Heck yeah, high five. So, I think he goes in Super, dude. Rashid needs to be in every game going forward.
He's the same level of hype as Jury, but he goes in a tier below.
I mean, he could go further up. I mean, I think once he's in another... I don't know. Yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he's a really good new character. I think actually comparing him to Jury is a really good call. I think when you're making a new character, he was that for 5. A lot of people were happy with the representation, making it interesting. He's like technologically advanced. He's got like gear, and he's also got like, I don't know, I think he's well respected where he comes from.
You know you're playing his theme when this comes up, right?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Yeah, cue Rashid's theme now.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we're not doing a tier list on themes, but that would definitely transcend God. That's a great theme.
Dude, Sea Viper would be up there if this was a theme battle.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Yeah.
But to put Rashid somewhere,
I'm gonna let you place it. I would put him either in Super or Ultra.
it would be like high super.
high
I think.
Super. Because you know what? I will say this, even though he is the jury of Street Fighter V, it wasn't at that level.
Yeah, but that's because he's not a girl.
Absolutely, but you know what? We got it. But that's how we're ranking this, man.
Yeah, I don't want to do it because it would take too much time, but like I'm just gonna vocalize without showing it. He would be high super or low ultra.
Okay. I like that.
I think we could agree on that. All right, I'm actually excited to talk about Elena.
Me too.
Because you either love her or you hate her.
You're right.
What team are you on?
Love.
Me too.
I love Elena. She's so cool, man. I remember the way she moved in Third Strike blew my mind as a child.
Yeah, that is sprite work mastery.
Right there. Yeah, I agree.
The animation, very breathtaking. I always love when Street Fighter does the Street Fighter thing, and what I mean by that is Street Fighter originally seemed like it was a game, obviously a fighting game, but also an emphasis on diversity. The world, we're having a world tournament.
Yeah.
We're having people come in from all over the world, and I love whenever there's a new country, nationality, whatever.
Yes.
When there's a new rep for that nationality or country, I think that's such a good call.
Yeah, all the fighters shouldn't be from Japan and America.
Right. And that's okay to add more. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's so appreciated, I feel like, when you have the representation. I think that's what makes Street Fighter stand out. And it's Street Fighter.
Yes, man.
Have
Preach.
the diversity. Elena, great character in that category.
Plus, can we just talk about how cool her design is? She is a tall woman who uses her giant legs to
Say
attack people.
less.
Dude. No, I'm not. I'm not going there with it. I'm just saying, like, she's got the same thing that Marissa has and that Manon has. There's just some, incentuated extra factor to her that just makes her more interesting.
They didn't need to do that.
They didn't. But she could have just been a tiny, really cute girl. But they're like, let's make her a little freaky tall.
Yeah.
And it works, man.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's almost the hate that she gets because she was top tier in her game that I think also helps her in this tier list because
It propels her to a more meaningful spot, I think. She goes into good. I maybe super. Where do you think? I'm gonna leave this up to you.
I think super.
Yeah. You think she's got the same thing that Rashid and Jury bring to the table?
Yeah. Under, not to the level of Jury, but I think on the same level as Rashid.
Man, preach right here. Bring it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Oh man.
You
love this guy too.
I love T-Hawk, but he's probably a not fan.
Oh no!
I think he's so cool, but no one gives a shit about T-Hawk.
I have to think to say something. Hurry, Jason.
Condor dived. He dived all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. Like,
He's so cool, and dude, as a Mexican, it's so cool to get some Mexican representation, but no one cares. He's a less interesting Zangief.
I'm surprised at this too with Street Fighter 6 that they're kind of like, yeah, I don't know if we can do anything else with this guy. Let's just the next gen.
Yep, the next gen, they did the thing. They did the popular thing. They turned T-Hawk into a female character, and you know what? It actually works. It works good.
And we'll get to her when we do, but yeah, I think I agree with you. T-Hawk, he's great.
Yeah.
He's great, but
Yeah.
I don't think people think about him when they think about Street Fighter.
Absolutely. He is the sidiest side character that you could play.
But like, you're not alone in your love for him. Again, if this was a personal tier list, completely different.
Yeah, I
But-
put him at least in B.
But yeah, unfortunately, here's where he's at.
I want you to know, this is me being fair, bro. Like, I know that I had to put Zangief all the way up there because I think he deserves it. And you know how I feel about T-Hawk, but I know where he belongs.
Complete opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Zangief is looking down like, ah!
Oh man, I don't know if we're gonna have the same thoughts on Marissa.
I think Marissa should go right next to Manon.
Okay, maybe we have the complete same idea about Marissa.
Dude, everything I think about Marissa is the same thing I said about Manon. So I
And
don't wanna
again,
waste too much time.
I was seeing a little bit of like she's got this relationship with Zangief, whether it's more serious or not, I'm not sure, but like
I like it.
she's just so new
And fun!
that I don't know if she's really like I don't know. I don't know. I think if we went back, I think these two might even be good because of how diverse they are.
Yeah. Dude, if you want to put them at the back of good, I'm down, bro.
I might even just do that now. It's I think they made a lot of uproar in their inclusion. They didn't even need to be that hyped, but they were.
They were!
So
And personally, man, these two characters I like more than Jamie. I just know that Jamie's more important. He's
Yeah.
supposed to be the new Ken to Luke's Ryu.
he would be a high good,
Yeah.
and they would maybe be medium,
Yeah.
mid somewhere.
I think this is very fair.
Okay.
Alright, time to go back to the nothing.
Yeah.
Get out of here, you clone.
Some people really dig the dolls,
Yeah.
and it's interesting because, yeah, they're right there.
Yeah, T-Hawk and his wife are
and-
together.
I don't know if they're married or they might be by the time Lily's around. I don't know. I think they're in a relationship at one point. They might get married. I'm not sure. But that's the whole thing. He's looking for her because she's brainwashed by Shadaloo. It's just weird because I think that was another attempt to flesh out T-Hawk, and it didn't work again.
Dude, I didn't know that she had any relation to T-Hawk until this year when I watched that documentary thing in preparation for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of dolls,
Yeah.
and a lot of them are more interesting than the playable 2 in Alpha 3.
Agreed.
And it's just weird to me that they chose these two as like the first dolls that you can play as.
I mean, as far as designs go, they're fun, but like, I mean, have you seen the other Thunderhawk representation?
Yeah,
she's way cooler.
There's like a doll with a sword, or like a doll that's a nurse, and it's like, this is a person.
Yeah, it's the most whatever character in my opinion. They're cool, but at the same time, it's like whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they are never being playable. What are your thoughts on Adon?
Dude, I think Adon is mad cool. I would put him in has potential personally, but if you put him in Nafam, I wouldn't argue.
Huh.
Yeah.
I think if you have a relationship with Sagat, you get a little bit of clout.
Yeah.
You get some brownie points.
Yeah, and he beat Sagat, right? You know, let's not go too deep into that. Well, because I couldn't tell
remember.
you. Yeah.
I think he's just mad that he lost to Ryu.
Yeah. Adon's cool. I think he has potential, but
Yeah.
he's also at definitely at the bottom tiers of relevancy in Street Fighter.
Yeah, I think has potential is good. Because if they really did flesh him out and make him just super cool, I think they could do it.
Alright, so at the top of our waifu tier list, this character would make a big splash. I personally have very little to say about this character. I think she's really cool. I think she moves cool. But she looks, to me personally, more like a Skull Girl,
Character?
yeah, than a Street Fighter character.
Huh.
I think she's too cutesy. I think she plays really well. I think she's a fan favorite. I think
Yeah.
that she's got a really good connection with Rose, and I would probably prefer to see her over Rose. But I mean, dude, I'm gonna leave this up to you. I have no,
Okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Now, if they did make another Marvel vs. Capcom, I want to see her in it
Oh,
because I think she's kind of snuffing out Dalzim in the whole like
like
long
mythical.
hitting
Oh.
like stretchiness.
Okay.
And she's a female, so
Okay.
she gets that pass.
Uh,
I think from Rashid, Manat was that next new character that everyone was like, yes!
Dude, I don't even disagree with you. I'm very lethargic to this character, but you're right.
I think she's gonna be DLC in 6. I think she's gonna be like the next really important newcomer. Like the next generation. Your Lilies and your Jamies and what have you, your Kimberlys, like she's gonna be one of those students that's gonna be a really big deal in terms of the story.
I would be down to see your comeback.
So, it's hard for me to say between these two.
I think she goes right next to Rashid and Elena.
Yeah, maybe Super.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of other people would probably argue Ultra, but
They're not making this tier list.
up for debate.
Yeah, up for debate.
Okay, Karine Kanzuki. I have a soft spot for Karine. I sure do. I also don't know if I ever say her name right because the game says Karine, but it's also just
Karen.
looks like a Karen, you know? Like she doesn't look like a Karen. Gosh, she does not look like a Karen, but like her
Fact
name
looks like
the
a Karen.
name just looks like it should be pronounced Karen.
Yeah. Karine.
She was originally a manga original character in the Sakura
My favorite
manga,
written anything.
and they liked her so much they actually made her canonical in the games
Yeah.
in Alpha 3.
She's one of the characters.
Yeah, I just thinking about that too. Sidebar, like I think about that. I'm like, I think if I ever knew someone in real life that was like that, I would just hate them. But as a fighting game character, I love it.
Me too. Dude, I love that. Because you want to fight them. You want to, beat them up.
Well, those are your words.
Oh, I don't. You keep making me look weird. Stop it.
No, I mean, like, I don't want to beat her up, but, like,
Because they're cocky jerks.
I like the cocky jerk
yeah.
in the female character, and she's stuck up and rich, but in real life, you would not gravitate towards that kind of person.
Absolutely not. I think she's really cool. I think everyone was stoked when she came back in 5. I think she has a presence because I remember when 4 was happening, everyone's like, "Where is she?" Do you remember the deep fakes he used to make of Karin being on the roster?
Yeah.
I do.
And she actually had a very important role in 5.
Yeah.
She was, like, super important to the story, which I was surprised about. So I think I'd put her in Super.
Yep. I would probably put her in the back of Super, but Super is where I would put her.
Yeah. So let's talk about E Honda.
I think E Honda is just in. I think it's going to be like anyone that's a World Warrior is going to probably just be in Super because they're just iconic. Although I will say, if someone tried to make an argument for E Honda being in Good, I would have a hard time defending it. I feel like E Honda's the least popular of the World Warriors.
So doesn't that mean he should go into Good?
Well, what do you think?
I think he has zero story. He has the Street Fighter 2 clout, and that's it. So I don't think he has potential because I don't think he's going anywhere else.
But bro, he's friends with like iconic characters from Street Fighter, like Hakan.
I don't think that does a lot for him. I don't know. I love both the idea of him being friends with other people, but also him just running a bathhouse just doesn't. He always comes back though in Street Fighter.
That's what I'm saying, dude. He's got that Street Fighter clout means something. I think it's great that he has so much less than every other character in Good and below that it gets him because of that clout. He's in Good.
I think he's in Good.
Let's put him in Good.
This is the end of our first video.
All right.
And if you'd like to see the rest, then stay tuned for the next part.
Yeah, keep an eye out for Loch Ness 1716. We're going to come out with this new movie starring Steven Spielberg. Sylvester Stallone. It's going to be great, so keep an eye out for that. Subscribe below.
I did not give you permission to make a plugin.
It's not real. Okay.